ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Camilla's Golf Club and Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Quick recap on the Bonnies thrashing Rhode Island at the Riley Center. Sorry it's late, folks. I have felt awful today. Super disappointed, actually. Went to bed last night, went swimming this week, felt really good, really energized. And I woke up this morning and felt like a ton of bricks hit me, had an unbelievable stomach cramps all day, and just trying to finally upload this thing. So it's one of those days where I'm trying to fight through here. So haven't eaten a lot all day, so I'm just trying to get this recap to you here. Hope to turn a corner here in the next 5 to 7 hours. But let's get to this game here quick. First of all, I think there were three reasons really why the Bonnies just destroyed Rhode Island, right? Number one, Rhode Island was due to get bopped in the head. I mean, Rhode Island's not that good. I mean, you can tell me all day long, like, wow, they entered conference play 3-0. Okay, well, that's great. There's still a 9-8 team after this loss to St. Bonaventure, right? I mean, last I looked, their 3 straight wins were against Northeastern, St. Joe's, and Davidson. They lost 5 in a row before that. They lost to New Hampshire, Delaware, Charleston, Brown, and Providence on the road. We're going to make a big deal about Rhode Island winning 3 in a row in the A-10? I don't think so. They also got housed by double digits to Washington State and Northwestern. So a 3-game winning streak, I mean, there were a lot of analysts who made a big deal out of that. What's the big deal? You went 3 in a row in the A-10. I mean, you didn't beat Dayton and, go at Bona and fill in the blank. So that's number one. They were kind of due to get bopped. I think number two, you could kind of see the hustle and how everybody was really in place both offensively and defensively to have just really rock-solid possessions that ended with execution, and that comes from practice. I bet Schmidt and his staff kicked the shit out of these guys over the week. I wouldn't have wanted, to be in practice with those coaches because you let 80 points come into your house from Fordham. That is completely irresponsible. And so I'm not surprised at the energy level. I'm not surprised at any of the way they played at both ends. I still am not taking tons from this game because, as I've said many times, the emotionally invested part has kind of been yanked out of me with this team because I'm going to see this team do this all the time. They're 2-2 in conference. They have a loss to Canisius. They had Florida Atlantic on the ropes. They didn't take care of business. I mean, we know what this season's been like. They let Fordham come in and push them around. The other thing that really, I guess there's more than 3 things, but a couple other things I wanted to mention was, they got a lot out of both Brown and Banks. They got 27 points out of those guys, which isn't usually the case, right? Moses Flowers started the game and he was off. Sometimes when you're a starter, it's different than being a bench player, right? Like a starter versus reliever kind of thing. It's just different. He was off. And also, Semvis only scored 4. So you're like, well, what the hell? 10 points there. Now, yeah, Pride and Venning and Adams Woods were terrific. But you're sitting there going, how are you going to make up for all those points? Welcome Daryl Banks III. Again, another roller coaster player on a roller coaster team. He gives you 14 points. He was bouncing around. He looked like he had extra energy. He made 3 3-pointers. He grabbed 7 assists. He had a really good game, a really good complete game. Brown, 13 points, man. Back in double figures for him. Really nice game, right? Like Barry Evans scored 5, but he had another complete game with the defense and the rebounding. He came back a little bit. I still think he needs to score a little bit more at his size and his ability to run the floor like an antelope. But those things are huge. And then, folks, come on, man. Like, the other thing is the students. I mean, if anybody around college basketball can't see what a difference the student body makes, and especially for us at the RC, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can hear the sound through the television. You can feel the energy of the building from the get-go. You can hear it through the broadcast. I mean, come on. The other part is, of course, from this is the final one. So I guess I started with 3 things, maybe or 4 things that were going to be keys, and I've already rattled off like 48 things that were keys to victory, but not that many. Bonaventure shot the lights out. You're going to have games where you cannot hit, you can't hit water if you fell out of a boat. In this particular case, the Bonnies hit every possible shot you can imagine. I mean, they came out, they were on a huge run early, and they just kept making shots. They kept making shots. High execution, high movement. Every single shot that was a release seemed to go in. They were 11 of 24 from 3, 38 of 66 from the floor, 12 of 17 from free throw, but whatever. They actually got out-rebounded by 8 in this game. But again, steals and blocks. I mean, they had 17 combined steals and blocks. They turned those into big-time assists. They made a ton of shots. And when you're just making shots from everywhere and the other team, isn't, you're going to win. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And like I said, it's going to be like this, folks. I mean, I'm sorry. This was an unbelievable blowout win for sure. I didn't see it coming. I thought it would be nip and tuck and Bonnie's win by maybe 4 to 8 points. But again, this season they had Florida Atlantic. You know, they got Florida Atlantic's, C game. And unfortunately, Bonnie played a D game for 7 to 10 minutes in the second half, right? This team lost to Canisius at home. This team let 80 points come in from Fordham. This team lost by double figures at Richmond after they had a ton of rest staying down there after the VCU win. So we're going to deal with this up and down stuff. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to go at Mason and at Duquesne, and they're going to lose one of those games. They're going to lose at least a couple more road games the rest of the way, in my opinion. So I hate playing Duquesne on the road, by the way, because it gives me bad memories of the team that should have gone back to the NCAA tournament with Kevin Houston. Anybody remember that team? That 2000-2001 team. We went down, we drove back in a snowstorm from Pittsburgh, and that was the game where Kevin Houston fired the gum down on the ground and got a technical foul, and that was it. My guy Matt Motika listening right now, I mean, that was a long night, man. That was a 3.5-hour drive down, 6 hours at least back to campus, and literally a whiteout. I think, Matt, you drove, and Kevin Houston threw the gum down. We all were pissed off in the car, and I think we all started the trip not talking to each other because we were so freaking pissed off. And then we eventually were like, look, we're still buddies and we love the Bonnies. We gotta be there for each other. But, this was a typical game. I got to tell you, I mean, I'm not surprised they won. I wouldn't have been surprised by 12, 13 points. I am surprised at 35 points. But everybody kind of came to play. They had execution. You could tell they practiced hard. You could tell that they were mad. You get 25 from Pride. He was on a mission, right? Adams Woods. You get Venning. You get the two guys I mentioned off the bench. And voila, and then you shoot the lights out, you're going to win a game by a lot of points. And so now we move on and see what the Bonnies have to offer. 2-2 in the A10 and 11-5 overall. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And, of course, it's all brought to you by our good friends at Camillus Golf Club and SBUjournalism.com. Folks, I got to tell you about SBUjournalism.com. You can get a Master of Arts in Journalism, Digital or Sports, graduate in a year and a half. It's 100% online, flexible for your schedule. Go get your guide today. You can learn more about tuition, admission, financial assistance, and more. Highest level of education and what you'd like to study and what you'd like to do. You can do it right on this website I'm staring at, SBUjournalism.com. It's terrific. Type it in, get started, hit the next step, and you're off and running with St. Bonaventure University's online Master of Arts in Journalism, Digital or Sports. As I always tell you again, enjoy the games.